And greetings, Air Acolytes, and welcome back to Breaking Wind, a Last Avatar podcast. I am your host, Jason Roy Gaston, and the man to my side here is my brother from another mother, my fellow Hotman, VHS Jace. Hello, Jace. It's been a while.
I'm doing good. I'm feeling a bit tired,
I
mate.
didn't ask. You didn't even listen to me. That's not what I said.
I thought you said, how you doing?
No, did I say that? I don't know. I might have. I don't listen to me either.
Well, I was just saying I was feeling a bit tired. I might have a bit of a sleep on Appa, but after you yelling at me, I'm wide awake now. So let's talk some Avatar.
Okay, well, let's get this ball rolling then, because we are now officially over the hump. We are in the last few episodes of season 1, and this one's a good one. It's called The Blue Spirit, season 1, episode 13. We're introduced to a mysterious blue spirit in this one. Let's get down to it. So we begin our episode with General Douchebag. He is trying to recruit the best archers that the Fire Nation has. I can't remember what they're called, but they're really good. They could shoot the ugly off a toad. That's how good they are. The leader, I guess the general of the archers, does not want his archers going with Zhao because he has an anti-D-bag policy, I suppose. And Zhao, somewhat conveniently, gets a letter, and he's been promoted to admiral because the Fire Nation loves D-bags. And he says that wonderful line that you said right before we started filming. So why don't you tell everybody what he says?
It's gone from a request to an order.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, that is badass, because that's so cool. Like,
it really is.
Yeah, he's setting his place right there and then, isn't he? He's telling you who he is.
Yeah, watching this happen to Zhao is like watching the office douchebag get promoted to like assistant manager, and you're just sitting at your desk going, "Oh gosh, this place is doomed."
Yeah.
So yeah, Zhao is the office douchebag, and now he's Admiral Douchebag. But that's okay, because at least Sokka and Katara are sick already. Sokka is feverish and delirious. Katara is starting to show symptoms. And Aang finds out that there is an herbalist up on the mountain. And so he decides to go to the herbalist to find a cure for Sokka and Katara's sickness. He can't fly because the storm is still raging outside from the last episode, which is a good piece of continuity, I thought. And so he, I guess this is a new power, but he kind of like air runs down there to get the herbs.
I've never seen that before.
I've never seen it either.
Makes sense though with his powers, though. It does.
Sure.
Sense.
He's just very light on his feet, which I guess that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
So while he's on his way to the herbalist, Zal uses his new rank to get information from Zuko. Zuko says, "I don't know what the Avatar is. I don't know what the Avatar is. You need to get off. You need to get the hell off my boat right now." And then proceeds to kick Zhao's men off the boat. A bit of a confrontation coming between Zuko and Zhao, I imagine.
I mean, they did that early on in the series, and one thing I love about the Fire Nation is the internal conflict. Always something. There's always dramas going on.
I enjoy this show not only for the heroes, I enjoy it for the villains and the interplay between them as well, because it does make this world seem a lot more three-dimensional, a lot less, we're the good guys, we're the bad guys. There's shades of gray here.
Lots of shades of gray.
Not Aang. Aang is just, he's a good boy through and through. But between Aang and Katara, starting at Katara all the way down to Zuko, there are definite shades, and the shades do change.
Okay.
So the Aang makes it to the herbalist. Not yet. Sorry, I'm a little ahead in my notes. So while Katara and Sokka are suffering, they turn to the only person they can for water, and that is Momo. Momo, please, for the love of all that is good and windy, we need water. And so Momo goes off on Momo's water quest, which is just an absolutely riveting B-plot.
Can I just say, do you think the makers of this show were doing the Leonardo meme when they saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2? Because that gag from Guardians 2 is like when you're wanting a young Groot to go get the headpiece, remember? And he keeps bringing the wrong things back. And I'm like, I think I know where that gag come from. Because that's what they do here.
I think I've seen the gag before, but I don't know. Maybe somebody who... Maybe James Gunn is a fan of Avatar and was just like, I'm putting that in my movie. That's okay. You know what? Steal from the best. Steal from the best.
Yes.
Zuko is upset because Zuko believes that General Zhao is going to find the Avatar before he does, simply because Zhao has more manpower and more resources, which is fair. It is fair. But we don't have time to worry about that because Aang has made it to the herbalist. And she's crazy, cuckoo, nutty. She is absolutely out of her gourd.
Self-admittedly, too.
Yes, she admits it, so I can say it. She is crazy. She's a batty old lady and tells Aang he needs to go find frozen wood frogs. If you go find a frozen wood frog and tell your friends to suck on them, then they will get better. That sounds like a fraternity prank to me.
Yeah, and not something I would recommend in real life.
No, don't do that. Something medicinal will happen, but not what you think.
It will not be fun.
No. Or it might be fun. I don't know. But don't do it. So after Aang believes the crazy old woman and starts down the hill to go get the frozen wood frogs, he's suddenly attacked by the archers because Zhao has found him. Great action sequence. He's dodging arrows. He's dodging everything. And he ends up getting captured, even though he manages to find the wood frogs, which I thought was really cool that he kept his eye on his goal. He caught the wood frogs. He was putting them down his tunic. Then he gets captured, and he gets taken to Admiral Zhao, who says one of the most chilling things I think that he could have said at this point. I'm not going to kill you because you'll just reincarnate. I'm just going to keep you alive. Just barely.
Messed up, right?
A douchebag.
Messed up. And look how they got him sorted out here, Jace. Like,
yeah.
They've chained this boy right up.
They have.
They're terrified of him, aren't they?
They are, and Zhao's trying to put the psych in on him, and Aang's not really even. I mean, he kind of falls for it a little bit, but Aang could still just whoop the crap out of him if he wanted to. And I'm sure he wants to. I know I do. Sokka and Katara keep getting worse, and Momo brings them a mouse. He's trying. So, something happens, though, and that is a mysterious new figure appears. And even though we saw him in the opening moments of the episode, he makes his grand debut here. It is the Blue Spirit, this weird eyeless mask that just comes in out of the forest, beats everybody up, sneaks into Zhao's fortress, and sets Aang free. They manage to... Oh, Momo, of course, keeps bringing random stuff to Katara and Sokka because that's just funny. And some of the stuff he brings to him is just like, how did you even fly with that? The Blue Spirit gets Aang out, and as they're escaping, again, just another completely BA moment, Zhao says, don't kill the Avatar. I don't care what you do with the Blue Spirit. Don't kill the Avatar. The Blue Spirit grabs Aang and puts the sword up to his throat.
Yes.
And I'm just like, this show is for kids.
That was such a cool move, though, because it's his only way out at that point.
Yeah, that was a baller move. I mean, that's just unexpected. I think this is the picture. Yeah, kind of.
But certainly that's after, I think, Aang gets up and he's left alone for a little bit there, having to fight them all before Aang comes back. Amazing. What an incredible 10-minute sequence. I think maybe 8-minute sequence that was, that whole last third of this episode.
Oh, it is.
It's a great escape almost.
Yeah, this episode has two great action sequences. The initial attack by the archers, and then as soon as the blue spirit breaks into the palace to the time that they escape, just excellent, tense, well animated, well paced, just an incredible sequence. All the way up until the end when you think that they are scot-free, but Zhao just can't give it up, and he orders one of the crack archers to shoot an arrow at the blue spirit's head. And it pops the blue spirit in the face. Aang takes the mask off, and we see that the blue spirit was actually... It was Agatha all along. It was Zuko.
Can I say that I was genuinely... I should have put it together, but I was genuinely shocked in the moment that it was who that was. And it was a moment where I went, oh, okay, this show is going to some really interesting places now.
I honestly, I think it was spoiled for me before I saw it for the first time.
Oh, did you? Yeah, I had no idea.
It was one of the reasons why I decided to binge the show many years ago, because somebody had spoiled that part for me. So I knew it was Zuko from the very beginning. But even then, you don't lose any of the enjoyment because you see where he's coming from. He is not acting out of altruism. He's not trying to save Aang. He's trying to keep Zhao from being successful. That is his motivation.
Well, it's so important that you've seen that. I mean, that previous episode where we get to understand, is that the storm where we get to understand why he's doing it? Wow, it so informs the character. And yeah, but now that you know that, when it is discovered, of course he would go about this, you know. He's not approaching it the same way the Fire Nation are. He's doing his own agenda for his own reasons. Yeah. Reasons that I kind of understand now.
I understand it as well. As Iroh said in the last episode, the Avatar gives Zuko hope. Yeah. And he does not want that hope taken away by anyone. The Avatar is his and his alone. He needs it for his honor. His honor!
His honor. Yeah.
And this leads to one of my favorite scenes in the whole series, especially this early on. And that is whenever Zuko wakes up in the woods. And Aang is just sitting there. And Aang says, one of my favorite, one of my best friends was named Kuzkan. Yeah. And he was in the Fire Nation. If we lived 100 years ago, do you think that we could have been friends? And then Zuko, just completely within characters, tries to roast him right there. Not with a yo mama joke, but just like, you know, fire, punchy.
Yeah, that was pretty full on, wasn't it?
It was.
And it's like Aang wasn't even surprised that was his reaction.
No, he was ready. He was ready to run.
They both know their roles in this play. Put it this way.
You know the rules, and so do I. So anyway, again, kids, don't do drugs, but look at, whenever you lick toads, that's what your face looks like. And I'm sorry, those pupils are dilated. The animators knew exactly what they were doing.
It's really funny. In fact, the whole thing with his whole role in this episode is hilarious.
It is.
The way he's hallucinating is whatever. Sokka, though, however, I don't know. Like, she could have done a better job explaining to Momo what she wanted.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think she did a great job explaining it to that poor little monkey.
No. And they better not insult him. He did the best he could.
Water? Yeah, you didn't even do that maneuver. So
I don't drink out of Katara. I don't know, okay? I was just licking my crotch 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. No, Katara, she's got you know, when I started this series, I was all like, don't like Sokka, but like Katara. And I like them both, don't get me wrong, but I'm more favourable to Sokka now than I am Katara because of where we are in the story. The way she's pitching it, the way they are writing her at the moment.
Yes. She has character flaws just like anyone else. I think
she makes errors and mistakes and bad judgment calls.
And I think that's great because they could have very easily made her the Mary Sue who was good at everything and who has no character flaws. And they did. They made her, she's very prideful. She's very arrogant in many ways. And I also think that she has a problem with not listening to people around her, which is a very teenager-y thing to do. And that's one of the things I think that makes her and Sokka and even Aang more endearing is that they do have those flaws. And we can see some of those flaws in ourselves. For example, you are very arrogant. You don't listen. You're not good at anything.
Yeah, so that wraps up the show, though.
Oh, no, we got one more to go.
Well, when you're talking about character flaws, this plays out. It's a great segue to the next episode.
Absolutely, because the next one is called The Fortuneteller, episode 14. So, yeah, I think that what we can learn from this episode is that Katara would read horoscopes, and she would be annoying about it. Aang uses Sokka's fishing line to make Katara a necklace because she lost her necklace. Zuko has her necklace. She doesn't know that. Aang is obviously still sweet on Katara and wants to be closer, but Katara has summarily friend-zoned him, which is her right to do. That's fine. But you still feel bad for the little guy because he's such a dweeb. He's such a dweeb. He doesn't know how to express his feelings towards this girl he's obviously very attracted to and who he loves very much. And she is just absolutely oblivious.
Yeah, and it's the first time we get kind of showing that, really, isn't it? That he's developed a crush on her, and it's sweet. It's nice. Yeah. It's appropriate.
As they are talking, a old man is attacked by a platypus bear. And in case you don't know what a platypus bear is, this is a platypus bear.
As an Australian, I feel
like it's a platypus bear.
I feel like I should be offended about it, but I'm not, because I'm like, I know how mean real platypuses can be and how deadly they can be. They're poisonous. Remember, they have barbs on them.
Yes.
So
I can only imagine
platypus bear would be fairly terrifying.
I would crap my pants, just like the platypus bear did whenever Momo jumped down and yelled at him, and he dropped an egg and ran away. Which I don't care how many times cartoons do that. I'm always going to laugh at the poopy joke. I'm always going to laugh at it.
It's a good one.
The man was never really that concerned because he says, "Oh, no, I knew I wasn't going to get hurt because Auntie Wu told me that I was going to be safe today."
It's the Wu factor.
Yes, Dr. Wu. Anyway. He then tells them, "Oh, Auntie Wu said that if I happen to meet anybody, I should give them this, and it's an umbrella." And Aang opens it, and it starts raining. So Auntie Wu might have a gift. Might. Katara fully believes. Aang fully believes, and of course, Sokka is the molder of the group. Sokka is the Scully of the group. Yes. He does not believe. He's very, 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 very skeptical.
And
which understandably
thank the Lord that he is.
Yes, but in any case, they decide to go see Auntie Wu and to get their fortunes told. This is where Aang meets this girl, Mang. Mang is Mang is, well, she's sweet on Aang because she was told many years ago. Yeah, she was told many years ago that she was going to fall in love and marry a man with big ears. And Aang, he got big Cardor ears, and that's fine. But Ming is sure that Aang is the person she's going to marry, and so she's immediately infatuated with him. They have a really great conversation near the end of the episode that I hope I don't forget to talk about because I just thought it was great.
I think I've got the image of that. But really great scene.
When Katara goes in to get her fortune read by Auntie Wu, Aang listens in and finds out that Katara is destined to marry a powerful bender. And of course, Aang, I'm a powerful bender. Maybe I'm the one that Katara will marry. And it just makes him really, really happy. And Wu tells Sokka that you're going to be miserable your whole life, and it's going to be your fault. Which,
I love that moment. Love that moment. You're self-inflicted trauma, basically.
Yes.
It's like you're going to have nothing but situations, and you're going to be the reason why it happens.
It's fair. Awesome. It's a fair assessment. After they get done, Auntie Wu goes outside because she's going to read the clouds, and that's the fortune for the whole village. Yes. There are clouds all the way around the volcano, and that will tell them, is the volcano going to erupt and destroy the village, or will the village be safe for another year? Wu reads the clouds, and she makes predictions like it's going to be a great year, a great year for twins, I think was one of them.
Yes.
It's going to be a great year for crops. Oh, and the village will not be destroyed by a volcano this year. All right. Everything seems fine so far. However, Katara has gone fortune crazy. She wants to know everything. She's loves spoilers. She's the kind of person where if you go see a movie, she'll say, what happens? Well, I don't want to say what happens. She'll say, well, tell me what happens at the end anyway. Yeah, she's the kind of person who reads the last page of a book. The most annoying person in the world. She wants to hear more fortunes, even over minor stuff like what should I eat for breakfast tomorrow? And of course, Wu is just like, oh my God, just crazy. I did forget, sorry, I skipped a paragraph here. Going to go back to whenever Wu reads Aang's fortune and says, oh my gosh, you're going to be involved in a battle that's going to determine the fate of the world. You're going to have to fight great evil. He goes, yeah, I know that. I know that. It's fine. It's fine. Does Katara like me or what?
I love that. I love that moment. I really do. It so speaks to who Aang is.
Such a great comedic scene.
Yeah.
Aang also does the worst thing in the world. He asks Sokka for advice on love.
Yeah.
Sokka thinks that Aang likes Ming. Doesn't realize Aang is after Katara. And so Aang is giving him the worst advice in the world. Like, well, just be aloof. Act like you don't care. If there are any boys watching this right now, don't do that.
Yeah,
don't act like you don't care. Do the opposite. Show them that you care. It works a lot better, and it shows that you're a good person and not a douchebag like General Zhao. Excuse me, Admiral douchebag.
Yeah.
He's been promoted. Aang notices how a man gives a girl a panda lily, and the girl is just completely elated by it. And so he asked them where they got the panda lily, and it's up on the mountain. So he drags Sokka up the mountain to get them, and as soon as they get up there, Aang is really shocked to find out that the volcano is full of lava, and the lava.
Love that shot, by the way.
Yes, great shot. The lava.
I want that as a poster.
The lava is getting ready to come down and make the village hot and sticky. So they have to get Auntie Wu to reverse her previous fortune that said that the village would not be destroyed because the village is about to be destroyed. And so what I thought was really clever is that they steal Auntie Wu's book because they're going to go manipulate the clouds and make the clouds say volcanic disaster. I think this is the picture here. I hope it is. Yes, it is. Aang gets caught by Ming. And instead of playing this pseudo relationship off as a joke, they actually handle it in a very mature way by having Ming. Yeah, they had Ming admit, you don't like me the way I like you, do you? And Aang, instead of being a doofus, realizes, oh, she likes me. And they have a very mature conversation in which Aang is just very straightforward with her. Again, any young people listening, this is how it's done right here. Be honest, be frank, be considerate of other people's feelings, but do not lie to them. Exactly. I want to show this to my fourth graders. I want to show this episode to my fourth graders and say, this is how you talk to people right here.
I have some friends around my age who I think need to.
Absolutely.
50-year-old men who need to see this.
Absolutely. But in any case, Ming knows what Aang's doing, and so she gives him the book, which I thought was very cool. And they go and they change the clouds. Auntie Wu goes out and looks. I love Sokka's face. The expressions in the show are amazing.
They animate him. His facial expressions are so awesome.
Yes. There's so many. I love how you can freeze frame the facial expressions, not only on this show, but also on The Legend of Korra. and you get so many hilarious facial expressions.
Yeah.
But they show her that, oh no, volcanic disaster. They alert the city. They get all the earthbenders in town and start digging the ditch in a last ditch effort, pun, to divert the lava away from the village. The volcano explodes. The lava's coming down, and they simply did not make the ditch big enough. The lava's going to overflow, and so Aang does one of the most solid steel baller things in the world, and he blasts the entire lava flow with air until it cools down and makes this gigantic, almost like a tidal wave of lava.
It was really cool.
It was very cool. This was actually the first episode of Avatar I ever saw, was the ending to this episode.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And I was just like, wow, this is really cool. And then, after somebody ruined the Blue Spirit for me, I thought, I got to watch this. I got to watch this.
Yeah.
That's when Sokka makes the observation, wow, sometimes I forget what a powerful bender that kid is. And Katara goes, the what? And then she realizes, oh, hey, Aang is a powerful bender, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. Because they forget the day-to-day with them, they haven't,
I know.
Sometimes you've got to be reminded you're actually hanging out with someone who can, one of the most powerful people in that land. What is the most powerful person in that land?
Absolutely. So, again, Katara, not always the most observant person, but she knows now. She knows that Aang likes her, or she knows that Aang could be her destiny, but I don't think she knows that Aang likes her yet. Because, again, she's kind of derpy that way.
Yeah.
And as they leave...
And also very young, too.
Yes, very young. As they leave, Ming tells them goodbye and says, I'll find my... The cats are playing with my green screen. I will find my love one day. And then as they leave, she has the best line in the entire episode. She calls Katara a floozy.
Yeah, yes.
And that is the Fortuneteller.
Yes. And then, wow, a couple of great episodes, Chase. I just got to say, really, really enjoyed the episode before this. I was like, I don't know where this is going, but what a payoff. And I did like the Fortuneteller. The beginning of it, I was a bit like, oh, really, Fortuneteller? But why would I should have never had any doubts. It was great. It was handled so well. That sequence in the end was really cool. I'm thinking to myself, I know how they're going to do it, but how are they going to make this look as cool live action?
Lots and lots of CGI.
For that sequence, absolutely, for that sequence. But yeah, no, really great. Really great that we're now, like you said, we're over the halfway mark. I've already felt that I've been with these guys for a long time. And knowing that we still only scratched the surface of where these characters are about to go through, is really exciting. It's really exciting. It's really thrilling.
I like episodes like this that give you that give the characters a sneak preview of what's to come and give them things to think about. It's just a lot of fun. Babylon 5 did a couple of episodes of the same manner. I've seen a few in other animated and live action series. It's just fun to have a little foreknowledge of the future.
We'll talk of the future, Jace. The next two are Bato of the Water Tribe.
Bato of the Water Drive? And this sounds delicious. The Deserter. It's all about a guy who makes desserts, if I remember right.
Yum.
I may be getting it confused with the My Little Pony episode. I'm not sure.
I'm going to be really disappointed now if he's not baking pastries.
I'm going to have donuts while we do that.
Well, awesome. So we will be back next week again as we inch closer to the end of the first season, and then, the movie, and then the series. Hopefully. Yay.
So, remember, if you like what we're doing here, please like, subscribe, and as the children say, smash that notification icon. And if you would like to become a Patreon, get exclusive videos, get prioritized suggestions for the review for Jason Watches and for the VHS Vault, there is information about that in the video description below. I'm Jason Roy Gasson. That is VHS Jace. And until next time, stay frosty, Airbenders. Goodbye.
the lick and the toad thing. I'm like, really? They went there?
They did. I thought that there would have been some kind of an anti-drug message, but apparently the message of this is that drugs are good and they make you feel better.
Because they both feel better instantly.
Oh, absolutely. And Katara goes into the next episode thinking that she's going to find out the future from a fortune teller, so she's still stoned.
Yeah, she's still tripping balls. So
absolutely.